Hey guys, Diana Haley back with chapter 15, Uta Hagen's A Challenge for the Actor. I said that a little bit backwards, but that's okay because I assume that if you're following this series, you know exactly why I'm here. So this one is creating physical senses. Uta Hagen recommends that you review chapter 6, so maybe review chapter 6's video. I hope that it helps. Yikes. I'm not a teacher. Very clearly. Reviewing what the sensories are, using authentic sensory recall, and reproducing those imaginary senses so that, you know, you give off a authentic performance without having to use particular objects. She means objects that need imagined realities. So these are objects that are real, so we do use them on a daily basis, but they are not used on stage like toothpaste or lotion. Those things can be sticky, they can be messy, and we don't want to use them on stage for either one, safety reasons, or two, it just gets too big of a mess in case it's dropped for any reason. So those things should be like empty, and then, you know, pretend that we're using the lotion. You know, you just go boop and just, you know, rub it as if you were actually using lotion. You know, we all know how to use lotion and stuff. I rub it until my hands are dry, which I don't think you're supposed to do, but I do it. I don't know why. Or like a razor, you know, for like our beards and stuff. You know what I'm talking about? I know what I'm talking about. You know, so you're obviously not, you know, doing it with an actual razor because that could be dangerous. You don't want to be bleeding on stage because you accidentally get too involved in your character. You know, things like that. So things that can be used fake. I remember this one show that I did where I had to crack an egg, and obviously it wasn't a real egg because that would be too messy and dangerous should someone slip and fall, should I actually make a mess out of it. And so I'm holding on to this egg and I'm very badly trying to crack it, and I go like that and it cracks, right? And then I go like this, you know, I'm like, you know, and I'm just like, I'm trying to get all the nasty whatever. So, but it gives the illusion to the audience that, you know, that I've actually cracked the egg on my hand and that, you know, it's a mess. And so they're getting the idea that she sucks. She can't cook. So that's kind of like what Uta Hagen here is talking about. So for the exercise itself, she says, choose 3 items which need imagined realities, 3 items that deal with 3 different senses. She recommends sight, touch, and taste, but you can use any out of the 5, which are sight, touch, taste, hearing, and smell, and create a scene with it. And I kind of made one up that was just something that we do every day. You know, it could be something really, really easy. You don't have to make it too complicated. And last night, as a matter of fact, I took my sister out for some sushi. So we went out and ate, and it was really, really funny because she picked up a roll of sushi with her chopsticks, and like it was 2 pieces of sushi, but it wasn't cut all the way through. So it was just like this huge piece of sushi, right? It was crazy. And she was like, well, I guess I'm doing this. So I'm just kind of thinking right now that like something that would be kind of funny if we were to create a scene out of it would be to pick up the giant piece of sushi and you see it and you're like, whoa. So that's kind of sight, right? You see something that's like much bigger than what your mouth can handle probably. And then, you know, you like put it in your mouth and you're like, you're feeling it in your mouth and you're tasting it, right? And I just happen to know that every time I eat sushi, I don't know what happens, but I guess I have small mouth, small jawline, whatever. Everything about me is small. So like when I eat sushi, my cheeks puff out and they puff out like this. I look like that while I'm eating. So now I'm thinking, okay. And then she asks that we put some conditions into that scene as a means of raising the stakes. So something I would find really funny would be like if I had like that giant piece of sushi that my sister had and eating it, you know, and just trying to survive pretty much, and, you know, being funny at the table or whatever. And then like a man going, I just can't hold this anymore. Will you marry me? And I'm like, trying not to spit out every single grain of rice that's in my mouth, right? And now I'm trying to like swallow it. And of course, like, you don't want to be choking on stage. And so you're going, you know, and like, you know, and you're giving the illusion that you're slightly choking on your food because he couldn't wait for you to swallow your stuff before asking you like the biggest question you'll probably hear in your whole life, you know. So so she asks us to put on conditions, and she brings up better conditions than what I just bring up. Of course she did. So she talks about being late or being quiet or being in the dark. So like maybe imagine like you're sneaking into your house or something like that, you know, you're late coming home, you need to be quiet, and you're in the dark, and you're trying to just get to your room without getting in trouble or something like that or whatever. And so the sight is part of the darkness. The quietness is hearing and sound, and then the tardiness is kind of that condition. And then she suggests that every condition either grows to a higher stake as you imagine it, as you create the scene, or the senses either start to weaken or start to strengthen. That's what makes it interesting. So it should never just be like a static scene. It should kind of grow, whether you are becoming weaker or becoming stronger. Either way, the scene needs to kind of pick up a little bit, and the intensity needs to get a little bit higher. And you can intensify your scenes by using your senses and your imagination. So that's that exercise. I'll just repeat it one more time really quickly. Choose 3 items which need imagined realities. So like a razor, lotion, toothpaste, things that you wouldn't put on stage, that deal with 3 different senses. And then create a scene out of it, and then rehearse that scene. And then just as you rehearse the scene, keep adding conditions that would make the scene harder to perform every single time. So that's that one. And on to chapter 16.